My mother died twice. I promised myself I would not let her story be forgotten, but I could never find the time, or the will, or the courage to write about it. That is, until recently. I don't think I'll ever become a real writer, and that's quite all right now. I have reached an age at which I am more at peace with my limitations and failures. But I had to tell the story, even if only to one person. I had to send it into some corner of the universe where it could float freely away from us. I owed it to Mum, this freedom, and I had to finish it this year before he was released from prison. On the day he'll be released, I'll be there, waiting. I'll leave the car in front of the railway station and take the 5-minute walk to the grimy prison building. I'll pace the street or lean against the wall across from the main entrance, waiting for him to come out. I don't know how long this will take, and I don't know how he will react when he sees me. I haven't visited him for more than a year. I used to go regularly, but as the day of his release drew closer, I just stopped. At some point, the massive door will open from inside, and he will walk out. He'll gaze up at the overcast sky, unused to seeing this vast expanse above his head after 14 years of incarceration. I imagine him blinking at the daylight, like a creature of the dark. In the meantime, I'll stay put, counting up to 10, or 100, or 3,000. We won't embrace. We won't shake hands. A mutual nod, and the thinnest of greetings in small, strangulated voices. Once we get to the station, he'll hop into the car. I'll be surprised to see how athletic he is. He's still a young man, after all. Should he want to have a cigarette, I won't object, even though I hate the smell and don't let my husband smoke in the car or in the house. We will drive across the English countryside, passing through quiet meadows and open fields. He'll inquire about my daughters. I'll tell him they're fine, growing fast. He will smile, though he hasn't the slightest idea about parenthood. I won't ask him anything in return. I will have brought a cassette along to play, the greatest hits of Abba, all the songs that my mother used to hum while cooking or cleaning. Take a chance on me, Mamma Mia, Dancing Queen, the name of the game. For she will be watching us, I'm sure. Mothers don't go to heaven when they die. They get special permission from God to stay around a bit longer and watch over their children, no matter what has passed between them in their brief mortal lives. Back in London, once we reach home, I will search for a parking space, grumbling to myself. It will start to rain, tiny crystal drops. Finally, we'll find a spot into which I'll squeeze the car after a dozen maneuvers. I can deceive myself that I'm a good driver until it comes to parking. I wonder if he will scoff at me for being a typical woman driver. He would have done so once. We'll walk together towards the house, the street quiet and bright behind and ahead of us. For a fleeting moment, we'll compare our surroundings with our old home in Hackney, the house on Lavender Grove, marveling at how different things seem now and how time has moved forward even when we couldn't. Once inside, we'll take off our shoes and put on slippers. His face will crumble when he sees my slippers. To put his mind at ease, I will tell him they're a present from my daughters. He will relax, now realizing that they're not our mothers. The resemblance is merely coincidental. From the doorway, he will watch me make tea, which I will serve without milk and with lots of sugar, that is, if jail hasn't changed his habits. Then I will take out the sesame halva. We'll sit together by the window, with porcelain cups and plates in our hands, like genteel strangers, watching it rain on the flowers in my back garden. He will compliment me on my cooking, saying how much he has missed sesame halva, though he will politely decline another serving. I'll tell him I follow our mother's recipe to the letter, but it never turns out as good as hers. That will shut him up. We will lock gazes, the silence heavy in the air. Then he will excuse himself, saying that he feels tired and would like to rest if that's all right. I will show him to his room and close the door slowly. I will leave him there, in a room in my house, neither far away nor too close. I'll keep him confined within those four walls, between the hate and the love, none of which I can help but feel forever trapped in a box in my heart. He's my brother, he a murderer.